Hello again, Year 6. So, today we are going to be looking at reasoning about 3D shapes, okay? So we've looked at regular and irregular polygons. So now we're going to be looking about 3D shapes and reasoning behind it. So first of all, I'd like you to pause the video and see how many 3D shapes you can name. Pause the video now and have a go. Okay, let's think of some examples. So these are the examples that I thought of. We've got a cube, a cuboid, triangular prism, and a pentagonal prism. You could have also had sphere, cylinder, hexagonal prism, square base pyramid, a cone. Okay, so there's lots of 3D shapes that you could have named there. So what are vertices, edges and faces then? So 2D shapes don't have vertices, edges and faces. They have something different. What are vertices, edges and faces? They are common in 3D shapes. Have a think for a few moments. So, vertices are the corners. So these are where the shapes join together. The faces are the flat, large surfaces. And the edges are the pointed bits attached to the corners. Okay, so they're the bits that you can run your finger down and it's quite sharp. Okay? So, now then, can you name some solid 3D shapes that have curved edges and some that don't? Now, I don't mind if you don't name the ones that don't, because you will have already done that before. But can you name some solid 3D shapes that have curved edges now, please? Pause the video and have a go. Okay, let's have a look. These are some that I thought of. So you could have had a cylinder, a sphere, or a hemisphere, which is half a cylinder, half a sphere for your curved faces. Not curved, you could have had cube, cuboid, triangular prism, square base pyramid. Okay, you could have also had cone for curved face as well, because that has got a curved face. Well done if you got some of those. Okay, let's have a look at this question then. So we've got three different questions really here, because there's three parts. So 1A says name three different 3D shapes that have at least one rectangular face. And the next part says name two different 3D shapes that have more than 4 but fewer than 8 vertices. So remember, vertices are corners. Okay, so they'd be like this bit here. And then 2 says, thinking about these 3D shapes, which could be the odd one out and why? Can you think of more than one example? So these three shapes, which is the odd one out and why? Can you think of more than one example? So the first one there, name 3 different 3D shapes that have at least one rectangular face. Okay? Then we've got name 2 different 3D shapes that have more than 4 but fewer than 8. So they've got between 4 and 8 corners, 4 and 8 vertices. Okay? Can you pause the video now and have a go at these three questions? Okay, let's have a look then. So for the first one, this here might have given you a bit of a clue. Okay? 3 different shapes that have at least one rectangular face. So you could have had a cuboid, a triangular prism, a hexagonal prism, for your 3 shapes there. If you've thought of anything else that's also got a rectangular face, well done. For the second one, name 2 different shapes that have more than 4 but less than 8 vertices. Okay, so you could have had a cylinder or you could have had a cone. Sorry, so for C, name 2 different 3D shapes that have more than 4 but fewer than 8 vertices. You could have had a square base pyramid or a triangular prism because they have got less than 8 corners but more than 4. I think a square-based pyramid's got 5 and a triangular prism has 6. And then for your last question, thinking about these 3D shapes, which could be the odd one out and why, you could have said that the square-based pyramid is the odd one out because it doesn't have a rectangular face. Or you could have said the cuboid is the odd one out because it doesn't have any triangular faces. You could maybe have counted the corners, the vertices or the edges or the faces and chosen another odd one out for that from that as well. Okay, completely up to you. Well done if you got that one correct. So let's have a look at this one then. So it says, look at the different nets. Describe the 2D shapes used to make them and identify the 3D shapes. So let's just break that down a little bit. So it says, describe the 2D shapes used to make them and then identify the 3D shape. So these are nets. So a net is basically a 3D shape that has been opened up. Okay? It's been opened up so it's flat. So we need to see what shapes these 3D shapes are made up of and then decide what it makes when it's put back together again. Okay? So this one here, one is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares. Okay? Because remember it's made up of these 2D shapes. And when it is put together, so when we fold it all up and put it together, it creates a cube. Okay? So that's all this means. It means tell me what 3D shapes and how many of that 3D shape have been used to create it, and then tell me what the 3D shape is once it's folded back together. So we've done the first one together. I'd like you to have a go at these two, please, for me. So describe the 2D shapes used and identify the 3D shape. Pause the video now and have a go. Okay, let's have a look then. So, number 1 is made up using squares and the 3D shape is a cube. Number 2, the shape is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4 rectangles and 2 squares, and the 3D shape is a cuboid. And number 3, the shape is made up of 4 triangles and 1 square. The 3D shape is a square-based pyramid. Well done if you got that one correct. Let's have a look at this one then. So we're sticking with nets. So it says, draw another dot on the nets so that the dots are on opposite faces when the 3D shape is constructed. So this means when we fold these shapes up together, we want this dot to be opposite the other dot, okay? So once you've folded them together, which one of these other squares would the dot be on to be facing this dot, okay? Same with this one. Which face would the dot be on to face this dot? And the same here, okay? This one is probably the easiest one to do first. So think about the shapes that have made up your 3D shape to start with. Okay, so you can see here we've got 2 smaller cuboids here, and then we've got 2 larger cuboids. And we've got 2 smaller cuboids rectangles again on the end. Okay, sorry, the rectangles, not cuboids, aren't they? So which other face would be opposite this one here with the dot on? Okay, think about the size of the shape being used. Which one would fit the best? Okay, and then the same with these two. Pause the video now and have a go at that one. Let's have a look then, shall we? So, for this one, the dot would be on this face because this one would be the one that folded over, so it would be opposite this one. On this one, the dot would be on this face here, so they would be facing each other. And then on this one, the dot would be here because that is the other largest rectangle, look. Okay, so they would be facing each other. Well done if you got that one correct. Okay, so we're back to irregular polygons now, regular. Margot makes some irregular polygons on a geoboard. So which of these is not an example of an irregular polygon? So I'd label them A, B, and C, and then explain how you know this. Okay, so you've got to explain it. Explain how you know. Which is not an example of an irregular polygon. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, let's have a look then. So, the first shape, so shape A, isn't irregular because the two triangles that make it are the exact same. Okay, so there's two equilateral triangles there. The lengths are all the same and each angle is also the same. Well done if you got that correct. If you would like a further challenge this week, I would like you to try and make me a 3D shape. So you will need to create the net first and then fold it together. So remember, the net is a 3D shape but just taken apart and flat. Okay? So you will need to create the net first and then fold it together. In order to create the net, you will have to think about what shapes make up the 3D shape in order to draw your net. Okay? So for example, if I was making a triangular prism, I would need 3 rectangles in a row, and then I would need 2 triangles on the edge of the second rectangle. Okay? So that then I could fold that together to create a triangular prism. Please, if you do have a go at this task, take a picture of your 3D shape and send me it. I'm very interested to see the results. Good luck. I'll speak to you soon, Year 6.